Hey, good evening. Happy holidays, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, the tri state areas of New Jersey, Connecticut, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most, Mr. Still Lonely Nomad, Unstoppable Independent Podcaster, creator, YouTuber, and Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Giants and New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you are now rocking with me by tuning in, streaming, listening, and watching the 150th episode of the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, the platform where I actually go over some music discographies, even music news. There's there's movies, all new. Same with TV shows, old and new, and alongside with some gaming news. We're live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube. Make sure make sure you click on that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page. And of course, yes, leave a like and a comment alongside with the topics being discussed. All right. You can even download the episodes as well, as you can listen to the episodes while you are in your cars going to different destinations, whether it's college, whether it's going to work, and other destinations, wherever you're trying to go whatsoever. Or you can even listen to it on your way home. Um, and don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, including a review. It helps the show grow, and it gives me the confidence to, gather more topics for you folks at home that's into movies, that's into TV shows, that's into music discographies, music news, and alongside with gaming. All right. So I hope y'all had a nice Christmas. Um, you know, keeping it simple with the family, friends, all that great stuff right there. And can you believe that 2026 is almost here? And I say that because and I say that not because of my birthday that's coming up. That's true too. But um even though 2025 has been like the worst year of not finding a job, I still managed to actually, take the time to actually, work on some content for you folks, especially those who are watching and listening. I appreciate that whatsoever. 2026, I'm going to continue to build up the episodes for this show, the sports podcast, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports platform show that I'm actually doing, and of course the comedy off the meat rack chains New York Avenue podcast. I'm also working on that as well. Um, so yeah. Um, but I will say that I've been kind of proud of myself for reaching the between 4 to 5 year anniversaries for three separate podcast shows whatsoever, and I really I'm really proud of myself actually. And consistency and and having the confidence and being able to keep going, keep growing, it makes me feel good. regardless of how many subscribers that I have, I'm still going to keep going. So you can spread the word to your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you're cool with from work. Word of mouth is very important. So, so there you go, right there. Now, I want to get into some. All right, let's get into some music. Let's get into some music Kool-Aid for a sec, man. Some music news. All right, let's do this. All right. Let's take a look at what we have on the agenda in this episode. Um, all right. So let's start off with this topic right here. Okay. So 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 this is according to Pitchfork. KP Skywalker begins the standout Hell or Not. The pen the P hold on. Let me try to pronounce this word. Um the penultimate track of I Tried to Tell You by singing What Am I Supposed to Do? His voice cuts in and out like a hazy recollection, and Erica Badu's sampled voice plays alongside. He's riding in the back seat of his mom's sedan. The Southeast DC rapper's brief trip down memory lane with the 90s R&B of his youth gives way to asking his little homie if he's ready to war up, laughing at some rapper bragging about guns that he never shot, and getting wistful for the days when it was just noodles and spam. Oh, oh man. Oh man. Wow. 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 Did he just say noodles and spam? Oh wow. Quasi apocalyptic visions of his beltway landscape rub up against tender musings spilling out of KP with his possessed drill team flow. You get the sense that these moments are closer in his mind than they appear in the rear view. KP's adherence to the DMV's blossoming drill style, punching in with rambling raps that spare no detail, has become more established even as he tinkered with the boundaries of the subgenre. This year's For the Freakers and 2023's Rhythm and Bip approached X-rated, applying groovy R&B flips to player anthems that teamed with sordid accounts of spitting in her mouth and fucking every which way. Oh man. Even when KP follows fellow scene members like Skino and Slime get him. Slime get him toward more standard free car music themes. Morbid corner stories over ominously bouncy beats, like on 2023's Getting Right, the EP. He remains an extremely adept narrator. His lines burst with personality, even if they can feel a tad one note for long stretches. And this is okay, lyrical predictability being a common trap for this strain of drill. I try to tell you avoids monoton- monotony by bouncing around KP's musical styles and personal history with limitless energy. His roving narration isn't limited by regional rap convention, weaving together familial, emotional, and hustling memories in a production landscape that draws from the various roots of black soul music tradition. The album is a proof of concept that demonstrates what it means to experiment in earnest within the DMV underground scene. The 20 song track list, a departure from For the Freakers, brief onslaught of ballads allows KP room to amble. His beat selection with production also provided by Turn Me Up Pro, Yo Yo the producer, and Tavares Jordan feels as though it's meant to stitch together soulful touchstones of his childhood, crooning along to the warbling H-Town sample on opener industry on the way to a Wizards game, or home, or reaching into the record cabinet and choosing Anita Baker's voice to frame his soothing plug fuse link up with 10K Duncan and None So Loose. Oh shit. Oh man, these names are funny, man. I'm sorry. DC's oh DC's go-go tradition looms large in the way the drums titter underneath a funky Wayne Shorter-esque saxophone sample on VPN as KP melds his delivery to the rhythm. The varied production coaxes out distinct styles. The angelic choral arrangement on streets sing to me slows his raps to a crawl while a dropout feels like a TLC 12. Oh man, maybe something off fan mail warped by heat and heartbreak. Most often, KP's nimble references and turns of phrase arrive under the cover of the hostile drill flow that's overtaking this kind of DMV street rap. But his style is steeped in the slow crawled storytelling of the southern rappers he listened to growing up, and the diligent way he constructs his world on I Tried to Tell You evokes the late great Pimp C's meticulous autobiography on the sweet James Jones stories. Picture KP and his cousin speeding through red lights and 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 goading each other to shoot up the deli, scared like steel, or making it up and down the northwest corridor before sunrise late night. He's got 100 variations on the word on the word bip, tossing it everywhere like parsley on an IG chef's channel. Oh wow. Sometimes his musings are routine. I'm blowing up, but I'm stuck in a war zone. Fuck is the bros on? Let's get on Warzone. or sound morbidly mundane. I can talk about murder in music because I really done it. But the continual tweaks to his diction allow simple phrases to escape tedium. The tension between KP's inner sensibility and the hardened shell he's formed to survive is emotional the emotional crux of I tried to tell you. At the outset of See My Wrongs, his romantic optimism is potent. No, it's some good in the nigger hope that she sees it. He raps with clarity before recounting step by step how he helped another friend reach his dreams of being a killer in the streets. On Made It Out, he remembers a successful headshot, then stutters over his words as he wonders if the pain of losing his own homies made him depressing. Even when paranoia and um melan- melancholy tinge his reflections on fatherhood and family in Heaven Sing, there's still room to fondly remember the neighborhood girl who popped out with a belly ring in the summertime. When his words contradict like this, KP often switches to a higher sing song register, as if he wants his truths to carry for miles, no matter if they line up on paper. What keeps I try to tell you alive and breathing is how clearly KP understands that thematic conventions are made to be broken, and how willing he is to follow his instincts. Gun ad libs flow out of him in the background of Eddie, like he's arguing with himself on the track. He treats his collaboration with Skrilla like an away game, skating over calypso drums and sharing custody of their region's favorite word. He invites DC's Skino and Philly's Little Hawa to take the reins for extended moments in the spotlight. When he returns to the player anthem bars about stealing dude's girl, excuse me, it doesn't sound like a labored effort to maintain for the freakers momentum, but like he's recounting something that happened right before he waltzed into the studio. Each nugget is evidence that free car music can retain its toughness and bite without sacrificing um, inge- ingenuity and individual soul. I'm left hung up on KP's final words on closer, pocket flat, pockets flat, which come after some musings on stacking cash and stopping ops. Ain't see grandma in 2 months want like she want see my face. He raps with his voice edited to sound like it's somewhere off in the distance. The tightrope acts the tightrope act goes on. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so there you go right there, folks. Um in other music news, actually, Chance the Rapper. Yeah, let's talk about Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper and Jeremiah have added to their growing Christmas music catalog with a new 5-track EP called Secret Santa. It's the duo's fourth official holiday release, Following 2016's Merry Christmas, Little Mama, and its two expanded editions, 2017's Merry Christmas, Little Mama rewrap, and 2020's Merry Christmas, Little Mama, the gift that keeps on giving. You can listen to Secret Santa, which dropped on Christmas Eve over on SoundCloud. Secret Santa caps a productive year for Chance the Rapper. In August, he debuted his new album Starline and spent the fall touring North America. Jeremiah's last project was 2018's My Ty with the Ty Dollar Sign. Let me see. Let me see what the review is. Okay. Oh nah. I think that's it, man. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Hang on one second. Okay. Time for the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. Today's episode, we're going to be going over Cranks. It's like two separate movies by Jason Statham, and the reason behind Crank 3 didn't start didn't start. So I'll get to that in a sec. So here it is, the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. All right, let's get started with the R-rated movies by Jason Statham of Crank and Crank 2. All right. Um okay, here we go. All right. All right. Crank is a 2006 American action film directed by Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor. It stars Jason Statham, Amy Smart, Jose Pablo, um, Cantillo, Efren Ramirez, and Dwight Yoakam. In the film, Chev Chelios, an LA based British assassin, is poisoned by a synthetic drug and must keep his adrenaline flowing constantly to keep himself alive while trying to track down the culprits responsible for poisoning him. It followed it was followed by a sequel titled Crank High Voltage, which I'll get to next. And and The budget for the film is $12 million, and how did in the box office 42.9 million dollars. All right, let's go to hold on. Let's go to the production. We'll go to the production. We'll go to the marketing. All right, so the production was written in 2003 by Johnny Knoxville, former former Jackass actor who is now in the reboot of the Fear Factor reboot, which is coming out in January on Fox 5. Check your local listings. Yes, Johnny Knoxville in mind for the lead role, but Jason Statham came on board. Rather than being shot on 35 millimeter film like most films at the time, the filmmakers of Crank opted to shoot on digital videotape using Canon XL2 and Sony Cine Alta HDC F950 cameras. The title of the film comes from a slang word for methamphetamine. The film was shot on location in Los Angeles. Co-directors Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor opted both A and B cameras, where one would get a wide shot and the other would get a close-up shot. Close-up shot. Statham did all fight and car stunts on his own, including the fight in the helicopter 3,000 feet above Los Angeles. Yeah, that's crazy, man. The music side, the soundtrack for the film was released on August 22nd, 2006. All Music gave the album 3 out of 5, stating what is here is imaginative, creative, and head-scratchingly cool. While it's a very tacky and overly obvious thing indeed to end with the Jefferson Starship tune "Miracles." Oh wow. So tracks includes, oh boy, A Warrior's Death, Mental Health by Quiet Riot, Nasal Spray, Tricks Are for Kids oh, by The Crowd, You Stop, You Die, Bandera by Control Machete, Small Children, New Noise, by Refuse, Chinese Shit, Chinatown by Paul um, Haslinger, Hardcore Shit, Kill All the White Men by NOFX, Vitamin by Incubus, Dipsy Doodle, Everybody's Talking by Harry Nielsen, Adrenaline Junkie, Turn Me Loose by Loverboy, Haitian Cab Ride by Paul Haslinger, Achy Break Your Heart by Jared and Long Checklist, Adrenalina by David Rolas, I Kill People, Bring Us Bullets by Rocket from the Crypt, Eve's Machine, Let's Get It On by Gerald Levert, the late great Gerald Levert, uh, Does She Know by Paul Haslinger, Staying Alive by The Sleeping, How Much, Miva Wan by Roberto Tuscan, featuring Erica Garcia, Juice Me, Gasa Guasa Guasa by Tego Calder- Tego Calderon. It's a Miracle, Miracles by Jefferson Starship. All right, let's get to the marketing. Okay, so ne- Nevelin, no, Neville Dean, Taylor along with Jason Statham and Efren Ramirez appeared at the 2006 Comic-Con convention in San Diego, California. The panel showed a short clip and promoted the film, mentioning that it was shot in HD and that no wires or CGI were used for the stunt scenes. The filmmakers also made extensive use of web advertisement to promote the film. Lionsgate bought a feature spot on the homepage of YouTube and paid several of its well-known members to advertise. Now we go to the video. Now we go to the reception. Okay, Crank opened on September 1st, 2006 in North America in 2015 theaters. It grossed 10,457,367 on its opening weekend and was ranked at number 2 at the box office behind Invincible. The film ended up grossing 27,838,408 domestically and 15,092,633 internationally, for a total of 42,931,041 on a $12 million production budget. Critical response on Rotten Tomatoes: the film holds an approval rating of 62% based on 101 reviews, with an average rating of 6 out of 10. The website's consensus for the film reads: Crank's assaultive style and gleeful depravity, um, deprav- deprav- depravity may turn off casual action fans, but audiences seeking a strong dose of adrenaline will be thrilled by Jason Statham's uh, rockulous race against mortality. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 57 out of 100 based on 19 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade C plus on an A plus to F scale. Lionsgate chose not to screen the film for critics or the press prior to its theatrical release. Some filmmakers and actors singled out Crank among their favorite Statham's films, including Seth Rogen, Rupert Grint, Simon Pegg, Mc, James McAvoy, Edgar Wright, and Gareth Evans. So yeah, there you go, right there. And so yeah, there you go, right there. Now on to Crank 2, High Voltage. Crank 2 High Voltage is a 2009 American film directed by Neveldine and Taylor and stars Jason Statham, Amy Smart, Clifton Collins Jr., Efren Ramirez, Bai Ling, David Corradine, and David Yoakum. It is the sequel to the 2006 film Crank, and also features several cameo appearances of celebrities from various fields of entertainment. In the film, Chelios survives from the deadly fall and gets kidnapped by Chinese doctors who harvest his heart and replace it with an artificial one, which is designed to keep him alive for an hour. Chav sets out to find his heart while keeping himself electrically charged to stay alive. Wow. Crank High Voltage was released in the United Kingdom on April 15, 2009, and was later released in North America on April 17, 2009. Critics were not given advanced screening of the film. The film received praise for Statham's performance, but the film was criticized for being excessively violent, offensive, and visually unappealing. It's an R-rated movie. What did you expect? What did you expect? A fucking PG-13 movie? Come on. And let me see. By the way, the budget for the film was $13.5 million, and how it did in the box office $34.5 million. All right, so after the modest success of Crank at the box office, its directors Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor were approached by Lionsgate Films to direct a sequel. Neveldine and Taylor refused, explaining that the idea sounded ridiculous and kind of lame, as they had already killed its protagonist, Chev Chilios, at the end of Crank. According to producer Skip Williamson, the duo passed on the opportunity to direct because they didn't think they could toughen themselves due to the outlandishness of the first film, and rather stay on as screenwriters. The duo later became interested to direct the finished script. Taylor explained that he and Neveldine had fallen in love with the script, and we were not going to let anyone else touch it, believing no other director could direct it better than them. Taylor said the writing process was relatively easier on Crank 2 since the script picked up where the first film left off and adopted the same location and a few characters of the original. As such, Taylor saw the script as an opportunity to write Chelio's dialogue in the way that matched Statham's British vernacular, something he was unable to do on the first film since he had written the role specifically for an American actor before Statham was cast. In October 2007, Variety report stated that Jason Statham was set to reprise his role as Chelios for Crank 2. Statham himself was thrilled to be on the sequel, stating he was completely excited by how ludicrous and outrageous they made part 2. This one takes it to the next level. According to Taylor, Statham called Crank 2 the most fun movie I've read Stock, since Lockstock. In April 2008, Variety Report announced that Amy Smart, Clifton Collins Jr., Bai Ling, Dwight Yoakam, and Efren Ramirez had joined the cast. Filming lasts 31 days in Los Angeles from April 28th to June 9th, 2008. 2008, excuse me. Locations were used include the Port of Los Angeles, Inglewood, East Downtown Los Angeles, Hollywood Park, and Los Alamitos Race Course, where the sex scene between Chev and Eve were filmed. To achieve the same hyperkinetic visuals of the first film, Neveldine, Taylor, and cinematographer Brandon Trost acted as camera operators and photographed using prosumer high definition camcorders, including Canon's VIXIAHF 10 and XH A1. The size and weight of these cameras provided the directors mobility, especially when Neveldine filmed chase scenes with rollerblades on, and allowed them to capture from hard to reach areas and wrap filming quickly. Specialty rigs were also developed for the film, one of which was a piece of speed rail bent 180 degrees and mounted with a total of 8 cameras that lent a bullet time look reminiscent of The Matrix. Although the film looks noticeably handheld, fig rigs were used to keep scenes as stable as possible. Nearly 300 hours of footage was shot by the time filming was completed. All right, let's go to the soundtrack, shall we? Okay, so the track listing goes like this: Kickin', Chelio, Sweet Cream, Organ Donor, Chicken Scratch, Tourette's, Romance, Doc Miles, El Huron, Tourette's Breakdance, Juice Me, Hallucination, Porn Strike, Surgery, Social Club, Chocolate Theme, Ball Torture, Chefzilla. Oh shit. The Hammer Drops, Triad Limo, Shock and Shootout, Pixel Vision, Spring Loaded, Verona, Car Park Throwdown, Noticias, Catalina Island, Supercharge, Massage Parlor, Full Body Tourette's, Epilogue, In My Dreams, Friction, and Epiphany. Okay. Okay. The All right, so let's go to all right, let's go to the reception here. So Crank High Voltage opened in 2,223 theaters in North America and grossed 6,963,565 with an average of $3,133 per theater and ranking number 6 at the box office. The film ended up earning 13,684,249 domestically and 20,888,292 internationally for a total of 34,572,541. Critical response: the film was not screened for critics. Rotten Tomatoes reported a score of 64% with an average rating of 6.00 out of 10 based on 72 reviews. The website's consensus reads, in quote, Crank High Voltage delivers on its promises. A fast-paced, exciting thrill ride that doesn't take itself too seriously. On Metacritic, the film earned mixed or average reviews, with a weighted average of 41 out of 100 based on 15 reviews. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film a grade of C minus on a scale of A to F. Critics assessed the film in comparison to the original to mixed reactions. Hollywood Reporter critic Frank Scheck said it follows the same formula as the first one, as the first with one difference. Dave managed to ramp up the action and vulgarity beyond the insane heights of the original. Chris Tilley for IGN UK said that if anything, the sequel is even more outlandish and ridiculous than its predecessor. Rob Nelson for Variety wrote yet another DOA for the ADD era. Crank High Voltage rewards the sizable cult audience of 2006's Crank with more of the same, only stupider. The New York Times critic Jeanette Cassolis called it boorish, bigoted, and borderline pornographic, like the original. Both Stephanie Um, Stephanie Zakarik and Alexander Lawman criticized how the sequel had dropped the good naturedness of the original in favor of shocking the viewers with excessive profanity and mayhem. Lawman said that the sequel seems content to wallow in mean-spirited unpleasantness, apparently on the grounds that not enough films these days feature, say, graphic genital torture or a man slicing off his own nipples. Oh no! Oh man, that's messed up. That shit is fucked up anyway. But anyway, Nelson opined that the film is notable for being perhaps the first pick to feature an oh damn, an anal rape by shotgun, and called the public sex scene borderline pornographic. Tilly noted the influence the Grand Theft Auto video game series had on the film due to its bloody violence and mayhem, commenting that both the hunter and the hunted kill everything in their sights, resulting in bloodbaths all over town. He and Zakarik considered both the anally inserted shotgun and nipple self mutilate excuse me self mutilation scenes as some of the most unpleasant moments in the film. Oh man. Though both critics were divided on their reactions to the director's approach in conveying these images, Tilly opined, it's as if writer directors Mark Neville and Brian Taylor have seen that people like the holy trinity of sex, violence, and bad language of their first film, and so injected ever increasing amounts of all three into the sequel. Zakarik was otherwise critical, writing in quote, the first time around Neville and Taylor treated the movie's cartoony violence as a sick joke. This time around, it's an applied science, and the strain of their efforts shows. Adam Markowitz, hold on, Adam Markowitz for Entertainment Weekly, however, complimented the film as an eye-popping strobe of flesh and blood, a bit polarizing. Sheck wrote. Sheck wrote from Chev sticking a shotgun barrel up a bad guy's ass to his final turning toward the camera to give the audience the finger. The film makes clear that subtlety is not part of the equation. Some critics were displeased with how the film treated minorities. Casolis said the film vigorously abuses Mexicans, Asians, women, and the disabled with equal opportunity glee. Lawman pointed out what he saw as extreme misogyny and racism, citing one usage of the racial slur chink. He noted that although nothing should be off limits in comedy, the film only amounted to flashy, arrogant emptiness. Zakarik found the homosexual jokes particularly unsettling and said the film treated Efren Ramirez's new role as if he's as worthless as the women. Sheck wrote, however, what makes the film all palatable palatable is the comic lunacy injected into the proceedings, which often takes on a decidedly surreal quality. The film's visuals were also a subject of criticism. Nelson wrote, as in crank high def video shooting lens, a suitably uh, garish immediacy to the frenzied action. The directors are content to replay the same Red Bull six pack aesthetic, rack zooms, split screens, and whiplash pans, a plenty with been there, done that disinterest. Zakara complained that the actresses were made to look as cheap and ugly as possible by being shot in hard light that highlights every skin flaw, and that the choppy camera work made Jason Statham barely noticeable. Markovitz, however, said the film is as visually stunning as it is absurdly offensive. Zakaric said Statham lacked the energy and charisma he displayed in the original, lamenting that the sequel made him look miserable, as if appearing in this lousy picture just sucked all the heart right out of him. Some critics, however, praised Statham's performance. Sheck said the actor anchors the proceedings with his simmering charisma and impressive physicality, while Tilly called it one of his best efforts, with little seeming regard for his own physical well-being. Um. Okay. So what happened? What happened with Crank 3? And it's been 10 years, right? Okay. 10 long years have passed since Jason Statham last teased Crank 3. Here's why the $79 million franchise deserves a third part that never materialized. It's been a whole decade since Jason Statham teased fans with an update on a potential third. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Yes. So it's been a whole decade since Jason Statham teased fans with an update on a potential third installment of his adrenaline inducing franchise, Crank. Popular for its thrilling action scenes, excellent editing, and a plot that basically defied logic, yet never failed to never thrill, never failed to thrill viewers. The franchise stands as one of the actor's most loved classic hits. The story of Chef Chelio struck a chord with fans wanting an unfiltered, exhilarating watch. Who wouldn't love to see an assassin fighting to keep his adrenaline in a constant high in order to stay alive? Despite the franchise gamering, gar- garnering, a combined gross of over $79 million globally, and the film series retaining a loyal fan base. Crank 3 remains unrealized, though Statham has expressed interest in a third part with each passing year. The possibility of a new installment is feeling more and more like a far-fetched cinematic dream. Crank made its cinematic debut in 2006, introducing viewers to the brooding assassin Chev Chelios, who must keep his adrenaline high for survival after being injected with a poisonous serum. The movie's unique premise and frantic pacing keep audiences on the edge of their seats, constantly wanting more. This led to a sequel, Crank High Voltage, being released in 2009, and with higher stakes, more riveting action sequences, and a battery operated heart thrown into the mix, it became an equally big success at the box office. Together, the two films racked up an international box office total of $79 million, establishing their standing as classics. Despite collecting rather modest box office returns, the films earned a sort of second life on streaming apps and home media, highlighting their lasting appeal. They became a go-to choice for high-octane cinema with no regard for realism, and fans couldn't get enough of it. The franchise's unique mix of ruthless action and dark humor, paired with Statham's fierce performance, made it stand out in the action genre, leaving fans desperate for more. Why hasn't Crank 3 materialized even after Jason Statham's repeated expressed interest? In a 2015 interview during the promotions for Furious 7, Statham confessed his long-standing desire to return to his role as Chef Chelios, the spy actor, told Entertainment Weekly. We've been talking for years about Crank 3. They have a loose idea. They haven't written the script. I'd love to do part 3, put it that way. He mentioned directors Brian Taylor and Mark Neveldine might have a loose idea in the works, but no actual tangible script yet. Statham's excitement for a possible reprisal was evident in his statement when asked about returning to the franchise. Later that year, Neveldine revealed that an agreed treatment for a potential third installment existed, and that discussions with the production company and Statham had taken place. However, owing to difficulty in aligning schedules, especially keeping in mind Statham's commitment to several other projects, challenging arose. More recently, in a 2024 interview with PC Gamer, Statham expressed he is both pumped and a bit wary about the new premise might take center stage if a third Crank movie is ever to be made. It's been 10 years since we received any substantial updates on Crank 3. The third installment still standing as a tantalizing possibility rather than a definite project. Fans are not giving up just yet. We can only hope this undying fan base can revive the franchise, even when a lack of concrete progress suggests otherwise. So there you go, man. Um, there you go. That's why there hasn't been a Crank 3 due to scheduling conflicts. All right. You know, speaking of speaking of movies, man. Let me see if there's any. Let me see something here. Okay, let's see movie news. Let's see. Some movie news. Hmm. Um. Let me see. Hmm. All right, so let's go over the 20 best movies of 2025. Let's go over this. So, number 20, 28 years later. Number 19, The Shadow's Edge. Um, Number 18, Train Dreams. Number 17, It Was Just an Accident. Number 16, Weapons. Number 15, Blue Moon. Number 14, Secret Agent. Number 13, Bugonia. Number 12, Black Bag. Number 11, F1, the movie. Number 10, The Mastermind. Number 9, Resurrection. Number 8, Eddington. Number 7, Sinners. Number 6, Nouvelle Vague. Number 5, No Other Choice. Number 4, Cloud. And number 3, the recent movie that just came out on Christmas Day, Marty Supreme. Number 2, Caught by the Tides. And number 1, One Battle After Another. How about that? How about that though? Um okay. Let's see. So let me see. Hold up. Let me see something here. Um okay. I did see, hang on a second here. Okay, it's also let me see. I did see the trailer for Scream 7, so let's take a look at this from the Hollywood Reporter. All right, so the Hollywood Reporter rounds up reveals from the trailer who's coming back, castings, creatives attach a release date, Ghostface teases, and Sydney's fate in the upcoming horror movie. Um, this story includes major spoilers from the past Scream films. Incoming, incoming, another anonymous phone call. For nearly 3 decades, the Scream franchise has seen iconic final girl Sydney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell, outlive the numerous killers that hide behind Ghostface's mask while attacking Sydney, her friends, and anyone else who gets in the way. The original Scream movie debuted in 1996 and was directed by the late great Wes Craven, as were its sequels through 2011's Scream 4. 7 years after Craven died in 2015, the slasher franchise was revived in 2022 with Scream 5. Directed by Tyler Gillett and Matt Bettinelli Olpin. That film honored Craven and saw the return of Campbell along with original franchise stars Courtney Cox and David Arquette. However, Campbell was absent from the most recent sequel, 2023 Scream 6. Also missing from the franchise's future are Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, who led the two revival films. They were both set to star in Scream 7 until Barrera was fired in November 2023 due to her social media post about the Israel Hamas war. Shortly after being let go, Ortega also exited the project but voluntarily. Since the franchise was revamped 3 years ago, the new Ghostface killers have only gotten more violent. But in Ashley Cullen's Scream Tell All book, your favorite scary movie, How the Scream Films Rewrote the Rules of Horror. Scream 7's director, Kevin Williamson, revealed that with Campbell coming back, she wanted less gore. Nerve wants to go back to the first one and find the suspense and really concentrate on scary and not bloody, he said. But with Scream 7 on the horizon, it's safe to expect betrayals and key characters returning to the franchise as it prepares to make a killer return next year. Um, and of course, number one, when will Scream 7 be released, you ask? Let's see. Let's see. On October 1st, 2024, Campbell and Kevin Williamson, who penned the script to Craven's 96 film, announced in a joint post on Instagram that Scream 7 will be released by Paramount on Friday, February 27th, 2026. So mark your calendars. It's gonna be a killer 2026 hashtag Scream 7. Read the caption to a photo of the calendar date. That's number one. Number two, how did the last film end, you ask? So the end of Scream 6 saw Barrera and Ortega make it out alive following the brutal attacks of three ghost faces. Detective Bailey, played by Demont Mulroney, Quinn Bailey, played by Leanna Liberato, and Ethan Landry, played by Jack Champion. And after the villains are killed with help from Kirby, played by Hayden Panettiere, who returned to the franchise for the first time since Scream 4. Um, Sam and Tara's relationship grows closer. Earlier in the film, Gail survives being stabbed several times by a ghost face in her apartment. But before she passes out, she says, "Tell Sidney he never got me." More survivors include siblings Mindy, played by Jasmine Savoy Brown, and Chad, played by Mason Gooding. Number three, the Legacy Trio is coming back. Yes, the three main characters in the Scream franchise, Sidney Prescott, um, Gail Weathers, and Dewey Riley, are all returning, and one is even coming back from the dead. Campbell was first out of the group, and she announced she was coming back in March 2024 after not appearing in Scream 6 due to a salary dispute with its producer Spyglass. In the book, Your Favorite Scary Movie, How the Scream Films Rewrote the Rules of Horror, Campbell elaborated about why she left the franchise and then decided to return. "I knew I wouldn't be able to walk on set if I wasn't being paid what I deserve after decades of doing these films. I love these films, and the idea of them carrying on without me made me sad. But it wasn't worth feeling disrespected," she said. "So I didn't watch the movie and I didn't pay any attention to how it was doing. I loved all those actors. I have no ill will towards anybody who made the movie. I'm happy for anyone who gets to be a part of these films. But for me, it wasn't the right decision to go and be in the film. And now in the end, it's come back around and I'm very grateful." In December 2024, Cox signed on to return as well. The Friends alum was last in Scream 6, where she survived another stabbing. Arquette, Arquette, who was married to Cox in real life and in the franchise, joined the project in March 2025. However, it's unclear how Dewey is returning since he was killed in 2022's Scream 5 by Amber, played by Mikey Madison, the only Ghostface who's won an Oscar. Number 4, who else is in the cast? Let's see. So Matthew Lillard, who plays Stu Macher, the original Ghostface killer, along with Skeet Ulrich, is returning. So so are Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown, who play siblings Chad and Mindy in the revival films. Scream Three's Ghostface, Roman Bridger, who is also Sydney's half brother, played by Scott Foley, is coming back too. And new additions to the cast include Joe McHale, Anna Camp, McKenna Grace, Isabel May, Michelle Randolph, Ethan Ambry, Mark Consulos, Jimmy Tatro, Celeste O'Connor, Asa German, and Sam Reckner. Number 5, and what have they teased? Lillard told CBR earlier this month that he was a little nervous about playing Stu again. I don't want to be the one who ends up killing the franchise forever, he said. I'm hopeful that, we deliver. Having Kevin back, having Nerve in the fold again as the lead hero. I think that the future is bright. Foley, another Ghostface alum who supposedly died, appeared on Good Morning America in March to discuss his return. My character, spoiler alert, 25 years ago, I was the killer in Scream 3. Scream 3. He was brutally taken to town and killed, he said. Now I'm back in Scream 7, and I'm not sure how it's going to work, he said on Live with Kelly and Mark. That he was no excuse me that he has a small part. Dewey's appearance in Screen 7 wasn't supposed to be released. It was supposed to be a surprise. Arquette told ComingSoon.net last month, I'm not really supposed to talk about it too much, but Kevin Williamson was directing, and that was a real thrill. And it's amazing to see him be able to have that opportunity and to get Nerve back in this one. And Matthew, I mean, it's exciting. I love playing the role of Dewey and will always love playing the role of Dewey. Gooding teased how violent viewers can expect the new Ghostface to be. This is the most brutal I think Ghostface has been from an and and in an Adam anano, an anatomically logistical standpoint, he told Just Jared in February. There is a lot of blood and viscera, and I feel like with Williamson directing, fans have a lot to look forward to with what we do to these characters. Number 6, has there been a trailer? Yes, and Ghostface calls once again. On Thursday, Paramount Pictures released the long awaited first trailer for Scream 7. To start things off, Michelle Randolph, a newcomer joining the franchise, seemingly dies, revealing a possible opening kill scene. But the trailer's main focus is Sydney. She received a call from the masked killer asking her, Hello, Sydney. Did you miss me? Nice little town you found. You and your pretty daughter you and your pretty daughter. Reminds me of where we grew up. The two also come face to face for what will be another iconic fight. However, Ghostface seems more focused this time around on getting to Sydney's daughter. Tatum, played by Isabel May, yeah. It's also worth noting that Sydney named her daughter Tatum to honor her friend Tatum, played by Rose McGowan, who lost her life to Ghostface in the original film. The trailer also shows Courtney Cox's return as reporter Gail Weathers, and she tells Sydney she's ready to unmask this fucker. At the end, a mysterious voice says, in quote, "This is gonna be fun," and many fans suspect it's Matthew Lillard's voice as Stu Mocker, one of the original killers. Who is directing? Number seven. Who is directing? You ask. Williamson directs Scream 7. He penned the scripts for Scream, Scream 2, Scream 4, and executive produced Scream 5, which is the reboot. Um, the screenwriter took over directing duties from Christopher Landon, originally set to helm the film before tw- exiting the December 2023. The drop director tweeted at the time, "It was a dream job that turned into a nightmare." Last month, he revealed to Vanity Fair that he left the project because of the death threats he received from fans who blamed him for Barrera's departure. However, he set the record straight, saying he did not fire her and had no control of the situation. Whew. Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy right there. All right, before I continue, man, I want to actually give credit where credit is due to the creators of The Simpsons, especially especially Matt Groening and the producers, the directors, and everything else. Um that's also having a phenomenal years actually. Now they are on season 37 of The Simpsons, in case you didn't know. And there's also been talks about the Simpsons 2 sequel, which has been postponed from July to um, September 2027. I actually addressed that in I actually addressed that in one of the episodes. Like, let me see, yeah, one of the episodes, I believe 438. Y'all can check that out as well on my other YouTube channel page, G Money Stacks 555, of the comedy Off the Meat Rack Cheese New York Avenue podcast. So make sure y'all check that out as well. So yeah, in your favorite scary movie, how the Scream films rewrote the rules of horror. Landon further explained, I made my decision to walk away about a week after they fired Melissa. There was no movie anymore. The whole script was about her. I didn't sign on to make a Scream movie, he said. I signed on to make that movie. When that movie no longer existed, I moved on. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. All right, number 8. Who are the other creators, you ask? So you got James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick wrote the script. They co-wrote the previous revival films, Scream 5 and Scream 6. The Radio Silence team of Matt Bettinelli, Alpin, Tyler Gillett, and um, Chad Villetta will executive produce. Composer Marco Beltrami, who scored the first 4 installments, is also returning. And number 9, what is the plot, you ask? While there hasn't been an official log line posted for the film, Campbell will play a bigger role in the installment than she did in Scream 5, the reboot. We are going to follow Sydney, the actress told Entertainment Tonight in July 2024. In your favorite scary movie, how the Scream films rewrote the rules of horror, Williamson teased that he intends to keep the iconic Final Girls title intact. I have made it very clear, I think publicly too, that Sydney has been through so much torment and she has been through so much trauma that to give her anything less than a happy ending is mean. It's just sacrilegious, he said. Let's see. For Campbell, her priority is focusing on Sydney's family. Think about how challenging it would be to make the choice to even have a child if you were Sydney Prescott. Then, if you did have children, the stress and fear that you would live under about your history coming back to you, she said. I don't want to give it away, but how she chooses to parent is a big choice and perhaps different than how others might write. May was cast as Sydney's daughter, and Mikkel plays Mark Evans, Sydney's husband. Of course, in case you didn't know, that Animal Control premiered yesterday on Sunday, before the new episode of The Simpsons. So in case you didn't know, it's on demand right now. If you have Spectrum, you can catch it on demand. And if you have Hulu, you can even catch it there as well. So you got two options right there. Okay. Wait a second. Wait just a second here. Um, just a second. Hold on one second here, folks. I don't know what happened to the other thing. Okay. Um Wait a second. Most anticipated movies of 2026. Okay. Okay, we can go through that. So, um all right, most anticipated movies of 2026, of course, obviously the sequel to Devil Wears Prada. Um and just talked about Scream 7 and then Star Wars and more. So, all right, so next year. So this is from WGME. Okay, so next year looks like it's going to be an incredible one for movie lovers. It's packed with sequels and surprises. So here's our list of the most anticipated flicks coming in 2026. First and foremost, you got The Rip streaming January 16th on Netflix, which is an R-rated movie, which stars Matt Damon and Ben Affleck um, as Miami cops. Hang on. Miami cops who discover millions in cash at a stash house. And as word gets out, trust among the squad begins to fray. This heart pounding thriller is one of Netflix's most anticipated films of the year. Okay, let's take a look at that actually. Let's see. Yes. And I just did talk about Scream 7 coming to theaters February 27th. So Nerve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott in yet another face-off against Ghostface. Former stars Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega won't be returning, but fans will see the return of Gail Weathers, played by Courtney Cox. The Bride in theaters March 6th, by Warner Brothers. Actually, Maggie Gyllenhaal directs a new twist on 1935's The Bride of Frankenstein, set in the 1930s Chicago. The film centers on a young woman who is murdered and then brought back to life by Frankenstein, portrayed by Christian Bale. The dark tale also stars Jesse Buckley, Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Skarsgård, Annette Bening, and Penelope Cruz. Project Hail Mary comes out March 20th of next year. Ryan Gosling stars as Ryland Grace, an astronaut who wakes up all alone in a space station with no memory of who he is or why he's there. Upon regaining his memory, he learns he must travel a to the Tau Ceti system to stop a cosmic event that's plunging Earth into a new ice age. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is comes out April 3rd, 2026. The sequel to 2023's The Super Mario Brothers movie follows Mario as he journeys to what he believes is space. Of course, Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor Joy, Charlie Day, Charlie Day, Keegan Michael Key, and Jack Black return to voice the iconic Nintendo characters. The biopic of Michael comes out April 24th. Director Antoine Fuqua explores the life of the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Michael's real life nephew, Jafar Jackson, portrays his uncle in the biopic, offering audiences a look at the global rise of the music legend. Nia Long, Coleman Domingo, Laura Haria, and Lorenz Tate round out the cast. And the sequel, yeah, this is by Universal or Lionsgate, something like that. Um, yeah, The Devil Wears Prada 2 in theaters May 1st of next year. By 20th Century Studios. Miranda Price, no, excuse me, Miranda Priestley and Andy Sachs are at it again as Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway reprise their roles from the 2006 iconic comedy. 20 years later, their characters' rivalry reignites as they compete for advertising revenue. The return cast also includes Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci. And of course, what would have been season 4 um now turned to a movie, which is Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is in theaters May 22nd. Instead of a fourth season of The Mandalorian, Disney opted for a standalone film, bringing the Star Wars franchise back to theaters for the first time since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. Pedro Pascal is back as Din um, Djarin. Jeremy Allen White, who played Bruce Springsteen in the bio, joins the film as Rada the Hutt, and Sigourney Weaver plays Colonel Ward, a former rebel pilot and New Republic leader. Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg returns to his sci-fi roots with a mysterious new movie. Much of the plot is top secret, but we do know it involves a UFO and an all-star cast, including Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eve Houston, Colin Domingo, and Wyatt Russell. Yeah, so that Disclosure Day will be in theaters on June 12th by Universal. Scary Movie 6 also comes out the same day. June 12th. Sean and Marlon Wayans have teamed up to bring the Scary Movie franchise back to our screens. The siblings, along with older brother Keenan, co-wrote the film with Rick Alvarez, who worked with the brothers on Scary Movie 2. And Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th. Buzz, Woody, and the gang are back to face a new challenge. Kids are replacing toys with gadgets, and the made of plastic crew must do something about it. The rest of the details are scarce, but Tom Hanks and Tim Allen return to voice their beloved characters. And I did see the teaser trailer for Supergirl, which is in theaters June 26th. House of Dragons actress Millie Alcock stars as Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl. The story follows Supergirl as she travels the galaxy with Crypto the Superdog, and aids a young woman on a quest for revenge. Minions 3 Mega Millions in theaters July 1st. Steve Carell and Pierre Coffin reprise their roles as Gru and the Minions. Little is known about the plot, but it promises to be a fun family movie. And the live action Moana in theaters July 10th. Moana is the latest Disney film to get the live action treatment. Newcomer Catherine uh, Laga Laga Aya will play the titular character, while Dwayne the Rock Johnson returns as Maui, whom he voiced in the two animated films. The Odyssey is in theaters July 17th. Oscar winner Christopher Nolan follows up Oppenheimer with an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey, which tells the story of Odyssey, Odysseus, played by Matt Damon, in the aftermath of the Trojan War. The star-studded cast also features Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Mia Goth, and Charlize Theron. Spider-Man Brand New Days in theaters July 31st. Tom Holland returns for Peter Parker's next adventure alongside Zendaya and Jacob Batalon. The action-packed sequel follows the web slinger as he tries to focus on college and leave Spider-Man behind, but a new threat forces Spidey to suit up again. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping in theaters November the 20th, by Lionsgate, of course. Obviously, Spider-Man is from Sony. Odyssey's from Universal. Disney, Moana, um, and let's see. So, set between the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the first Hunger Games movie, the story features a younger Haymitch as he grapples with the aftermath of his family's murder by President Snow. Jumanji 3 in theaters December 11th. Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and Karen Gillian are teaming up again for the franchise's third installment. Hart indicated that this would be the final film of the rebooted adventure comedy, but a big win at the box office could change that. And Avengers Doomsday is in theaters December the 18th. Hang on one second here. Don't know what's going on here. Anyway, the first trailer for the new Avengers movie reveals Captain America, played by Chris Evans, returning to the franchise. The film also features the new Avengers, a team led by Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, and characters from across the multiverse, including the original X-Men and the current Fantastic Four. Together, they must battle Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Dune Part 3 in theaters December 25th. Set 12 years after Dune, the third chapter in the sci-fi epic follows Paul Atreides, played by Timothy Chalamet, who also played Marty Supreme, which is out right now, and the dark consequences of his reign as emperor. Zendaya, Anna Taylor-Joy, and Florence Pugh from Thunderbolts reprise their roles, while Robert Pattinson joins the cast in a villain role. 2026 looks like it's going to be one of the best years for movie theaters. Okay. All right. All right. So, what do you say? We're going to actually go into some gaming news. I'm going to go into some gaming news, actually. Hang on one second here. All right, so let's go into the video games chamber. All right. Okay, let's get into it right here, right here, right here, right now. The video games chamber. Let's get into it. Let's go. All right. All right, let's get into some gaming news. This came out recently. I forgot to do this one actually. So this is from Video Games Chronicle. Let's see. So speaking to Nintendo Insider CEO Piot Piot Piotr Barbiano claimed that the unannounced Project M will please fans of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Limbo, and Eternal Darkness and feature gameplay that could only exist on Nintendo hardware. End quote. You have no idea how hard it is for me not to reveal what Project M truly is, but for now, it's still too early to talk about it, he told the publication. We're confident that we'll be able to share the first details very soon. He added, what I can say is this. Fans of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Limbo, and Eternal Darkness will immediately feel at home. That said, Project Project M introduces a bold twist, one that no horror game has ever explored before. This is a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware. Bloomberg's Project M was first referenced in a Polish interview last summer when um, Barbiano said, end quote, we are working on it in cooperation with the world's best game creators for Nintendo platforms. So we cannot afford to create just a decent game. The Bloober founder is a big Nintendo fan and has said Bloober was originally established with the aim of fulfilling his dream of creating games for the platform holder. Nintendo Insider, um, hang on a second. Nintendo Insider asked Barbiano what classic franchise he'd like to work on if he had no restrictions. And he again cited GameCube title Eternal Darkness. Developed by Silicon Knights and released in 2002, Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem features settings and characters spanning thousands of years. Its most notable feature was the sanity effects, which would play tricks on players. If I had the opportunity, I would definitely take a close look at Eternal Darkness, which remains one of my all-time favorite horror games. Working on silent Working on the Silent Hill series was a dream of mine that I was fortunate enough to fulfill. That said, creating a horror game was Samus Aran in the lead role or a darker, more unsettling take on Link's adventures would be absolutely incredible. All right, let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Um Let me see. All right, so sometimes when you've taken something as far as it can naturally go, the best thing to do is start with a new beginning. With Halo Campaign Evolve, Halo Studios is not only going with that um theory, but in doing so is interpreting the idea of a new beginning in three different ways. Firstly, it's quite literally a new version of the game's beginning, namely a remake of the original Halo Combat Evolved from 2001. New levels have been added, existing ones have been rejigged, and and while the general story is the same, the cutscenes will all be entirely new and given new voice overs by many of the original game's returning cast, rather than the simple graphical update as seen in Halo Anniversary, which was merely overlaid on top of the base games, excuse me, to the extent that players could toggle between the old and new versions at the touch of a button. Campaign Evolved is a full remake built in Unreal Engine 5. So focused is the studio on making sure it gets this retelling of the original Halo story correct that, as the title suggests, there's only a campaign mode here. The only multiplayer that contributed so much to what made Halo popular will come in later games. For now, the only multiplayer options are local and online crossplay, co-op in the campaign itself. The second interpretation of A New Beginning is for the series and Halo Studios in general. The decision to ditch the slip space engine from Halo Infinite in favor of Unreal Engine 5 feels like more than a developmental one. It's also a symbolic one as the developed sheds the troubled past of Infinite in favor of an entirely start, an entirely fresh start. Halo Infinite dealt several blows to the IP's credibility. The negative feedback and Craig memes when it was first revealed, the decision to delay it and leave Xbox Series without a major launch title. The fact it ended up being out of the Game of the Year loop. It wasn't among the six um, GOTY nominees at the Game Awards 2021, and the rapid drop in interest in the online multiplayer all did chip damage to the reputation of a once industry leading brand. As a result, Halo Studios cuts its 10-year plan for Infinite short, announcing in November that it had officially ended major updates for the game so it could focus on multiple titles it has in development, starting with Campaign Evolve by taking the series back to where it all began. It's clear that Halo Studios is trying to wipe the slate clean and rebuild. Oh, jeez. Finally, of course, Campaign Evolve marks a new beginning for an entirely new set of players who have never been exposed to the series before. PlayStation owners, Forza Horizon on PS5 may be the bigger deal in terms of m- modern critical and commercial success stories, but there can be no denying the seismic importance of Master Chief stepping into enemy territory. It's up. It's up there with Sonic on Nintendo, but at least in that situation, Sega had already stopped making consoles. As opposed to Xbox's promise that another is still on the way. For dedicated PlayStation owners who continually resisted the temptation to allow the big green X into their home, the promise of finally getting to see what all the fuss was about will be a tempting offer. For them, the chance to not only play their first Halo game, but literally play the first Halo game, allowing them to start the story from the beginning, will be the ideal gateway. Excuse me. Yes. Um, and then if enough PlayStation fans fall in love with the series, when that next Halo game follows, the with the return of online multiplayer, no doubt the chances of success will be much greater with a larger player base to start from. The decision to bring Halo to PlayStation may have been the one to finally finish the fight, but it could prove to be the it could be the new lease on life for the series that Xbox fans have been hoping for. One that ironically could be sparked by their one-time rival players. Okay. All right. I'm gonna actually wrap this up right now, actually. Hold on one second here. Hold on one second. Yeah, there we go. All right. We're going to go to the last segment of the day, which is going to be stream choices on the go. Let's get into it right here. Okay, make sure you follow Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, the entertainment review show on Facebook, alongside with Bluesky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes for my other podcast shows that I do, which includes the Sports Edition show, Excellent, Fun, Vibrant Talks podcast, alongside with the comedy Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Avenue podcast. All right. I just dropped episode 438 Friday, the week of Christmas. Y'all go check it out as well. And I just dropped episode 149 of the entertainment review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. Make sure you check that out as well. And if you miss any episodes, also do the same with my sports edition show on the sports YouTube channel page. Excellent, fun, vibrant talks podcast. Make sure you catch up and check out episodes 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, and 111. All right. Make sure you check that out as well. So yeah, when you go to the link in bio on the gram, you're gonna see Linktree/Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast 5. When you go there, you're gonna click on the link, and you're gonna see some podcast link feeds, and these podcast link feeds includes the audio recordings of each episode, which includes Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. And of course, your feedback is important. It really helps the show grow, and of course, it really gives me the confidence to create more content, more topics according to the segments, and of course, it gives me the opportunity to actually be able to create more content and more topics for stuff to review and talk about. All right. So, we're also on Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM podcast, Overhaul FM podcast, Pandora, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic, and Snipped, alongside with the other streaming platform. Of course, don't forget to add the podcast. Don't forget to add Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, the entertainment review show, onto your Spotify playlist. All right. And of course, make sure you click on the notification bell so you'll be able to be notified on when each episode will be dropping on streaming platforms, including Spotify. And of course, you can also listen on Spotify for creators alongside with TuneIn Radio, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, such as your rappers, R&B singers, alongside with various music genres, including rock and roll, along with pop stars, and of course hip hop artists. All right. Your favorite radio stations on the AM and the FM stations. Okay, so of course, you can listen to the episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is, if you don't have it, you can download it onto your iPhones, Android phones, alongside with your iPads, Android tablets, laptops are included, such as Apple Mac and Dell laptop models. Of course, yes, Of course, make sure you follow the Entertainment Review Show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on iHeartRadio, and alongside with the other streaming platforms that I just mentioned. Make sure you click on that subscribe button on the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page, and leave a like and a comment along with the topics. All right, tell me how you feel about the topics in each of the episodes, including this one right here. And of course, very important that you share the Linktree link that has the streaming platform podcast link feeds for all the streaming platforms to your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you're cool with from work, and all that and everything else. So, of course, there's going to be more video podcast episode live stream recordings. Enable alerts so you'll be able to be notified on when I'll be on the air via live stream for each episode. And of course, be sure to also be notified on new episodes it's going to be on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All right. So there you go, right here, folks. That's gonna do it for me, man. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, your host with the most, rhymes with now or later. And I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you who took the time to listen to the episodes of this podcast platform right here. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast right here. Remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. And of course, be on your and of course, if you plan on starting a podcast, make sure you be on your P's and Q's, creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. And of course, do what makes you happy. It's not about the parents. If they don't support you, then you have to do what makes you happy and what you enjoy. What you enjoy is what makes you happy. It's not about them, it's about you. You feel what I'm saying? And of course, be yourself behind the microphone while you are recording your episodes alongside with the topics. All right? Because nobody's gonna do that for you but you. You can't be nobody else. The only person you should be is yourself. Boom. There you go, right there, folks. All right, man. I'm out to be out of here. And I hope y'all enjoyed your Christmas. This is probably going to be the last year of releasing this episode. It's going to be, because with 2026 coming up,
I hope y'all enjoy your new year in 2026. All that great stuff. I'll be back on the flip side. And of course, stay tuned for more new topics in the next episode. And I'll see y'all in 2026. Peace and one love. Be careful out there. Be safe. Bundle up. Stay warm. Be careful out there. Take it easy out there. I'll see y'all in 2026. Peace. Good night.